So this is where we start, looking at camera 2. Okay, and I'll take a slight step to the left. Can you tell my producer I wish he had told me about all this awesome stuff so I could have practiced?
I think he can hear you.
I hope I don't make it go to waste, Connor. I'll do my best. I know, but I mean, he worked really hard on it. He should have told me. Okay. Good God. Thanks, Connor, a lot for not telling me about any of this. What the heck?
Covering Northern California. You're watching Action News Now. Coverage you can count on.
New tonight, flood safety front and center in Oroville. What's planned for a neglected levee below the dam? Plus, taking flight out on the water, we show you what's coming to the Thermalito Afterbay in a live report. But first, we're tracking more federal funding cuts in our area. The Department of Government Efficiency is cutting 748 leases all across the nation. DOJ says this will save nearly $470 million each and every year. The cuts include one office in Chico and at least 7 others here at home. Action News Now reporter Blake Mayfield shows us what's in store for the Redding Bureau of Indian Affairs office.
According to its website, DOJ will cut 61 federal office leases altogether in California. That's nearly 10 million square feet in property and $660 million in leases being canceled. DOJ's website says it'll amount to nearly $624,000 being saved just here in Northern California. One of the offices closing in Northern California is the Bureau of Indian Affairs office, located inside this building behind me here on Knollcrest Drive in Redding. That office serves many tribes, including Pitt River, Blue Lake Rancheria, and the Elk Valley Rancheria. Other federal offices losing their leases include the U.S. Forest Service in Mount Shasta, the Natural Resources Conservation Service in Wairika, and the Bureau of Reclamation in Weaverville. During my visit, I only saw a secretary and the superintendent on site. Both of them declined to comment. In a statement, the Department of the Interior says it's working with the General Services Administration to ensure facilities will be available for continued Bureau of Indian Affairs services, even after the Northern California office shuts down. It's not clear when the termination notices were sent out, when the shutdowns take effect, or what it means for people who currently work there. Reporting in Redding, I'm Blake Mayfield, Action News Now.
Another federal agency losing its lease is Chico's Small Business Administration office on Mangrove Avenue. The SBA site provides counseling for small businesses and is set to close in September. That's according to the building's landlord, who spoke with Action News Now and said he just received a notice. A worker inside the courtyard told us that rarely is there anybody inside that office. The money the department will save in rent for that office in Chico, $630 per month for a little more than $7,500 each year. Other federal lease cancellations in our area include the Bureau of Reclamation in Weaverville. DOJ says this closure will save more than $180,000 per year. The Forest Service in Mount Shasta will save $12,000 per year. Now, the General Services Administration in Auburn, well, DOJ says that will save more than $31,000 a year. And then there's the National Resource Conservation Service in Wairika. The closure of that office will save $160,000 each year. Here's a live look from Alert California's Tuscan Butte camera in Tehama County. Mostly clear out there as we take a look at Mount Shasta, way off in the distance, Howie, on a Friday night. It looks pretty beautiful no matter what you're doing, what you're heading out for, but we probably want to grab that jacket, right?
Yeah, I mean, for Californians, on the chilly side.
We are in California. Stop talking about Chicago.
I agree with you completely. Because we are going to see, maybe not that evening super chilly, but overnight, Yeah, we'll drop down into the 30s, so could be on the cool side. Good news is winds didn't get that bad because, you know, when you add the cooler temperatures with the winds, that's an extra bite. That definitely requires a jacket, even for people that were from Chicago, Haley. But either way, yeah, we're going to be chilly overnight. At the moment, winds didn't get that bad today, maybe 5 to 10 miles per hour in anticipation of the storms departing and the entrance of the high. A lot of times you can see the tug and pull with winds starting to get stronger, but winds stayed on the lighter side for the most part. Temperatures today, look at that. Very nice. That's where we're supposed to be, maybe even a few degrees above and beyond. Now, we're going to be chilly here, but areas further to the southwest, not going to be us. There's frost advisories. We're not looking at those tonight, even though we'll be chilly. But we're looking at a nice, beautiful, warmer few days, but the showers will return. We'll talk more about those coming up very soon, Haley.
All right. Thank you, Howie. Butte County leaders and several water agencies met today for the Oroville Dam Citizen Advisory meeting to discuss improvements for flood control and safety. Action News Net reporter Margot Rowe joins us in studio. And Margot, tell us, what were some of the big takeaways of this meeting?
Haley, one of the big takeaways was the Oroville levee that runs downstream from the Oroville Dam between Highway 70 and the Table Mountain Boulevard Bridge. Now, I spoke with Mayor David Pittman and Supervisor Bill Connolly, and they explained to me this levee was built in the early 1900s, and it was designed to help reduce flooding to the downtown area. And it's been doing an okay job over the years, but in recent years, it's just had too much pressure on it.
And then later on, we've had the Oroville Dam built, which had many purposes, and one was flood control. And now we're at a point where the a little over 1 mile length of the levee is currently is having to handle some extremely high water flows that it was never designed for.
Next slide, please.
Agencies like
So here we go.
DWR
The
and the
one-time
Army of
levee
Corps of
review. So-
Engineers will be taking part in improving the levee, and there's currently no timeline on when we'll see improvements. But the next month, the Army Corps of Engineers will be doing an inspection on the levee, so we'll get an idea of what's next after that inspection, and I'll have more details of that meeting coming up later tonight, Haley.
Okay, interesting. We'll see what happens. Thanks, Margot.
Thanks, Haley.
New tonight, Anderson police say they had to forcibly restrain a reckless driver after he began trying to fight with officers. They say Joshua Fitch nearly caused several accidents in the area of Highway 273 and Ox Yoke Road. They then found him in the car at a nearby gas station and believed he was under the influence of drugs. They asked him to get out of the car, but say he refused, so they forcibly removed him. Police say Fitch fought with officers. They used a wrap restraint to keep Fitch and officers from getting injured. Take a look at that. Charges include illegally owning a gun, resisting arrest, and reckless driving. Willow's Fire rushed to put out a house fire on South Plumas Street today. They say that fire started around 2 blocks from the fire department just before 11:30 a.m. Firefighters say they quickly put out the flames and nobody was hurt. 5 people, though, were forced out of their home. New tonight, a 5-car crash sent 8 people to the hospital in Marysville. Police say this happened a couple of days ago when a Tesla driving on 10th Street crashed into some stopped cars. The crash caused a chain reaction there involving 3 other cars. Police say 3 of the 8 sent to the hospital were badly hurt, but everybody survived. The cause is under investigation. Now, if you have any information, call the Marysville Police Department. Gridley police arrested someone on drug charges after a traffic stop. This happened yesterday in the AM/PM parking lot. Police say they found drug paraphernalia in plain view inside the car. They say the driver does have a history of drug-related arrests and admitted to having illegal drugs on him. During a search, police say they found meth and drug paraphernalia. We're still working to learn the identity of that driver. Actor Gene Hackman, we now know, died of heart disease and severe Alzheimer's about a week after his wife passed away from a virus in their home. We told you when the 95-year-old actor and his 65-year-old wife were both found dead in that Santa Fe home on February 26th. Well, the New Mexico State Medical Examiner says it appears that Betsy Arakawa Hackman died February 11th of hantavirus pulmonary syndrome, which that's caused by contact with rodent excrement. Well, the Examiner said Gene Hackman's pacemaker data stopped working February 18th, 7 days after his wife's death.
The question was, what about starvation? So there was no food in his stomach, which means he had not eaten recently, but he had also no evidence of dehydration. He had significant heart disease, and I think ultimately that is what resulted in his death.
The medical examiner says Hackman also had severe kidney problems. Authorities say they don't know whether Hackman was aware of his wife's death during that week before he passed due to his severe Alzheimer's. Well, we have the latest in the tariff rollout, what the president has to say about impacts on inflation. Plus, new tonight, could autism be linked to vaccines? A new CDC study aims to find out. But first, lessons in rebuilding after wildfire, how the town of Paradise is trying to help out in Southern California's recovery. Camera. Happening this weekend, the board chair of Altadena is coming to Paradise to learn about wildfire recovery. Mayor Steve Crowder told me today that they'll start at Community Park on Sunday and take a tour of the now thriving town that, of course, we remember the 2018 Camp Fire nearly wiped off the map. In fact, I remember that day like it was yesterday. The Eaton Fire started January 7th and destroyed more than 9,400 buildings in LA County. Former Vice President Kamala Harris will decide whether or not she'll run for governor of California by this summer. Term limits prevent current Governor Gavin Newsom from running in next year's election. Candidates for his role have until early March of next year to file paperwork ahead of the June primary. Sources say Harris is seriously considering a run for governor, which would likely mean she wouldn't run for the 2028 presidential election. 3 more FEMA employees have been fired as part of the investigation into guidance last year for relief workers in Florida to avoid homes with Trump signs out front. FEMA Acting Director Cameron Hamilton notified lawmakers this week of the firings, concluding the agency's internal investigation. The 3 fired employees were supervisors to Marnie Washington. We told you back in November that Washington was fired for instructing relief workers to skip homes that had Trump flags or signs right after Hurricane Milton. Hamilton says he wants to send a message that political bias in disaster relief is not acceptable. President Donald Trump spoke more today about tariffs against key U.S. trading partners. He acknowledged we might see some prices temporarily go up once Canada begins paying reciprocal taxes on lumber and dairy. The president says tariffs are needed to help those who work in agriculture.
Canada has been ripping us off for years on tariffs for lumber and for dairy products. 250%, nobody ever talks about that. 250% tariff, which is taking advantage of our farmers, so that's not going to happen anymore.
In another effort to slash the size of the government, the Department of Homeland Security announced today it's ending a collective bargaining agreement which provided union protections to TSA workers. President Donald Trump sent a letter to Iran's supreme leader saying he wants to negotiate a nuclear deal. The president made the comments in an interview on Fox Business News that aired today. He later told reporters, quote, "Something's going to happen very soon." Iran's supreme leader has not confirmed, though, whether he received that letter. The U.S. government took access away from Ukraine to a program that shares unclassified satellite images. That means Ukraine won't be able to see photographs that it was using to fight back against Russia. And earlier today, Ukrainian officials say Russia targeted energy facilities holding dozens of missiles and drones, hurting the country's ability to deliver heat and light to residents. Earlier this week, the U.S. suspended military aid and intelligence to Ukraine, hoping to pressure it into making a peace deal with Russia. Paychecks are finally increasing at a higher rate than prices at the store. We'll show you why. And could New York City's mayor be in the clear? New developments in his corruption case.
The snow and rain has cleared away, and now some beautiful days lie ahead. We'll talk more about it coming up, but rain's going to return as well.
You're watching Action News Now. Storm Tracker weather. Coverage you can count on.
Here's a live look over Butte County on your blue Friday evening. Gorgeous out there from the Alert California Doe Mill Road camera. Howie, I'm so excited it's Friday.
Yep.
Howie's Howie's going to have a little bit of time off work, not going anywhere except for just exploring places. Maybe you'll go check out Doe Mill Road.
Yeah, I haven't taken a staycation in a while, so
Yeah.
now lots of places around here in the
So
Chico
much.
area and just really Northern California that I haven't
Yeah.
been to, and I'm going to hit as much as possible, and we're looking really nice through today, through
Yep.
Saturday, through Sunday, and maybe even a good portion of Monday before we see changes that we're going to talk all about in the next 3 to 4 minutes. But here's another Alert California live shot. Our toys camera, that's in Glenn County, that's looking off towards the east. Again, nothing but blue skies. Okay, so chilly overnight because without that cloud cover, that heat will escape into the atmosphere. Sunny and dry Saturday and Sunday. More rain and snow for next week. Okay, I talked about it. Chilly overnight in the valley. Look at that. Now we're back in that phase in the 30s again overnight. Weaverville dropping to 30. If you're over there in Chester, 20 degrees. I don't like that. That's a little bit too cold for my liking. But look what happens tomorrow once again. So remember, 66-ish range for highs in the valley. We're going to make it there, probably even go a little bit above that. Even the higher elevations looking pretty good. Chester up to 55, Bernie up to 61. Then Weaverville and Hayfork, look at that, into the mid-60s for high temperatures. All right, why is all this happening? Because there's our storms that brought everything from thunder, lightning, snow, and winds pushing away over Arizona. Arizona saw some rain today, a couple baseball games rained out, but high pressure. Remember, this is Saturday now. Excuse me, this is Saturday. This is tomorrow, but this is what it looks like today as well. I pushed it out a little bit, but high pressure keeping everything clear, calm, sunny, and warmer. But as we head closer to the weekend, here is what we have. Sunday is still looking good, but as we move into Monday and these storms from out west start to move closer, then high pressure moves off. We're going to be now under the control of some of this low pressure storm and the trough, and that is going to start to cool us down. That's going to allow for cloud cover plus more rain and snow. Maybe from Tuesday to Thursday, could see an inch of rain in the valley, maybe 2 inches of rain in the higher elevations, and then again, mountain snow. Still undetermined about those snow levels. They'll be at about 5,000 feet when the storms come down, but those could change. That's a few days away. But then really the work week going to stay under the influence of these storms. I don't want to jump out of here just yet because here, let me show the 3-day forecast, which if you want to get your car washed, looking great for Saturday, looking great for Sunday, but then again, we'll start to see the transition on Monday, so you just want to, at your own risk, go clean your car. But here's the 7-day look now. Saturday looking good. Remember, Sunday, by overnight, 2 o'clock in the morning, Sunday morning, we fall back, we spring forward, excuse me. So 2 o'clock will then be, I can't do this math right now, Haley, but we're going to lose an hour. We spring forward, but then look at next week being pretty active. Can you help me there, Haley? So it's Sunday at 2 o'clock. It's now 3 o'clock. Yeah. So that's what happens there. I had to think about that for a second. I'm usually really good with that, but we lose an hour as we spring forward on Sunday.
Okay, sure. We lose an hour. We'll still sleep the same amount, hopefully. Just get to bed a little early. New tonight, rural students are voicing their concern, and we'll show you the struggles they face and some solutions too. And new at 6, millions of dollars to make our roads safer. We show you the upcoming projects. But first, death by firing squad. Why a death row inmate chose this fate. Attorney General Rob Bonta is joining 7 other states demanding information on recent veteran firings. The coalition sent Freedom of Information Act requests to the Office of Personnel Management and on budget. They want to know how many veterans and spouses have been fired in recent layoffs. They're also seeking to find out any impact of those firings. Government data out today shows U.S. hiring has increased for 50 consecutive months, and wage growth is up too. The Labor Department reports average annual wages were up 4% in January. That's a full percentage point ahead of the inflation rate. Holding steady, the economy added 151,000 jobs last month, and employment ticked up just slightly to 4.1%. But the federal government also lost 10,000 jobs as the Trump administration began shrinking the federal workforce.
We had too many people in government. You can't just do that. We had many too many. This is for 40 years. This isn't just now.
A report from Challenger tracked more than 62,000 announced job cuts by the federal government last month across 17 agencies. Economists don't expect the full impact of those layoffs to show up until the next jobs report in March. A South Carolina man has been executed by firing squad, becoming the first U.S. prisoner in 15 years to die this way. Brad Sigmund was shot and killed by 3 prison employee volunteers with rifles. Sigmund killed his ex-girlfriend's parents with a baseball bat in their Greenville County home in 2001. It was a botched plot to kidnap their daughter. The 67-year-old chose firing squad because his lawyer said that he considered it a better option than the electric chair or lethal injection. Is there a link between vaccines and autism? We show you the latest on a federal investigation. Plus, you won't believe what shut down a major railway in Europe. We have those details. But first, flying across the water, we show you the action on Lake Oroville happening this weekend.
Yeah, what's up? 1, 2, 3 talking, 1, 2, 3 talking. Do I look really weird just because it's so bright out here?
Yeah, put on your ND filter.
It's on the max. Yeah, I mean, everything's at the max that it goes. That's why I called you. Huh? What's up?
The other way.
Yeah, up?
Do it one more. The luck's a lot better. A lot better.
This isn't too black on this side.
Covering Northern California. You're watching Action News Now. Coverage you can count on.
Got a need for speed? You might want to check out the Thermalito Afterbay this weekend as the iconic speedboat timed trials are back. Action News Now reporter Nathan Espandula is out there right now live. Nathan, are many competitors practicing at this time?
So, Haley, as you can see behind me here, there are no boats in the water, and that is because the insurance only covers the weekend. However, there are a lot of boats in the parking lot as drivers prepare for tomorrow. Tomorrow kicks off the 62nd annual Orville Speedboat Time Trials. I spoke with some of the organizers who told me it should be a great day. They are expecting to see many world records broken. One of the drivers expected to break a world record is RJ West, and he told me that this event is about much more than just fast boats.
It's not just watching the boats run, but there's an eclectic group of boats in here. You have Formula One boats, you have antique boats over there. So a little bit of a show, you can come through and see all the different boats and different styles and talk to the drivers. All the drivers are very personable. You can sit in boats, check them out, and just kind of have a little bit of fun.
Organizer Gene McKay told me that the event starts at around 9 a.m. and will go until the sun goes down. The two-day event will continue on Sunday. Live in Thermalito, I'm Nathan Espindula for Action News Now.
That looks like so much fun. Thanks, Nathan. And if you're interested in attending, well, it's free. You just need to sign a waiver once you arrive. And we're tracking conditions for anybody who's heading out there this weekend in the valley. Howie, you've been talking about the weather, and it's looking pretty good.
It looks awesome. So
Yeah.
the timing could have been better for this event because winds will be on the light side, sunshine, temperatures, if not at average, above, maybe even into the 70s. So looking really nice. Now, in anticipation of the storms moving off to the east, high pressure strengthening, developing, pushing in from the west, northwest, we were going to get a little breezy, and that's about it. We got a little breezy, not too bad. Winds on average are 7 to 10 miles per hour, and that's pretty much where we're at the moment. Temperatures, though, finally, remember January was above average. First half of February, just temperatures cold, below average. We recovered a little in late February, but then to start off March, temperatures dropped back down. But here we are now with the sunshine, temperatures getting to where they're supposed to be, and some spots even above average. But some spots not as fortunate because we're looking at some we're looking at a chilly night here, but away from the area to the southwest, yeah, they're looking at frost, but not here. But we are looking at more warm weather, but eventually the showers return. We'll talk all about it coming up soon, Haley.
All right, thanks, Howie. I could use a little more rain. Chico State students hosted the first ever Rural Student Voice Conference today. The goal was to empower high school students' voices. The North State Student Ambassadors is a student-led group, and they brought high school students from Tehama, Shasta, Plumas, and several other local counties in our region to campus. Chico State talked about struggles that they might face in coming there. Students we spoke to say this is about creating support systems. One of the main goals, developing ways to connect current rural students to the Chico State campus community.
We were supported in some funding in bringing these high school students here so that they could learn more about what being rural means and about how to stay connected to both their communities and to Chico State when they're here.
And I think knowing that there's a group of students that have shared experiences just like us also helps just make it feel more welcoming and inviting than like anywhere else.
A lot of students gathered at Chico State today, and some that we spoke to say this is creating support systems on campus, and one of the main goals is developing ways to connect to the campus community. It's prom season, and excitement is building for the many high school students, and all thanks to a local initiative, students can find the perfect outfit for free. The California Teachers Association, aspiring educators from the Chico chapter, Chico Marketplace, and the National Charity League, yes, all those groups are teaming up for the 19th annual Cinderella's Closet event.
I always like talking about the story of Cinderella and how she really wanted to go to that fancy ball, but because she couldn't have the fancy dress that she wanted, she relied on the fairy godmother. And so what we like to think is that we are able to give students who might have not had a chance to go to prom now have this great opportunity to enjoy such a special day that they'll look back on.
The boutique will open to students on March 29th and 30th, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. But organizers do need help. Donate new or gently used prom dresses and men's clothing at the Chico Marketplace office, the Chico CTA office, or Merriam Library at Chico State's campus. For more information, go to our website and click on the News Links tab. The Butte County Sheriff's Search and Rescue Team just got a $20,000 grant. That money will allow Search and Rescue to buy a new Zodiac boat and more powerful outboard motor, which will provide a big boost to the flood and swiftwater rescue capabilities. Direct Relief awarded that grant to support the local flood readiness program. The disaster relief agency helps vulnerable communities across the world. A rock slide closed down Highway 36 in Humboldt County. Check this out. Caltrans crews are taking advantage of a break in the weather to remove trees and debris brought down from the slide. If you're driving to and from I-5 in the valley, you can use Highway 299 as a detour. We're going to keep you up to date online and on air as soon as that road reopens. Almond crops in Glenn County will take a hit this year since fewer honeybees means less pollination happened during the crucial bloom. Local beekeepers say environmental factors and parasites are part of what's killing the bees. The owners of Heitkins honeybees in Orland says he's trying to find ways to help local growers work around the limited supply.
And we understand the problems that agriculture has, and that they need to spray and they need to use herbicides to control weeds, and we understand all that stuff, but having a working relationship and understanding the effects that might have on us too is very valuable.
Almonds were Glenn County's top crop in 2023, valued at $139.5 million that year. So what's causing the soaring egg prices? The Justice Department is actually investigating to find out for sure. The probe will explore whether large producers conspired to raise prices or hold back supply. President Trump vowed to lower inflation once in office. Now, grocers say eggs were a leading driver of food inflation over the past few months. California's Water Board is asking you to use less water. The board wants all Californians to drop usage from 55 to 47 gallons per day. Also to reduce indoor water use by 15%. There is no penalty for going over these numbers, but water agencies will ultimately pay for overages. New tonight, the CDC is planning a new study into a potential connection between vaccines and autism. It's unclear whether U.S. Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is involved in this planned study or how it will be carried out. On Tuesday, President Trump referenced rising autism cases in his congressional address. RFK Jr. did recommend vaccines while advocating for choice this week regarding the current measles outbreak that's linked to 2 deaths reported in Texas and in New Mexico. An unexploded World War II bomb was found near the tracks of the busiest train station in Paris today. Authorities canceled all high-speed trains running between Paris and London, Brussels, and Belgium. Bomb disposal experts came in to defuse the device. It weighed more than 1,000 pounds. Some Americans were among many tourists caught up in the chaos.
So I was going to meet my friend in Brussels, but obviously the trains are all delayed, and my train was at 7:23, but now I don't know when it will be.
Workers digging up dirt during a renovation uncovered the explosive. Bombs left over from the First or Second World War are often found around France, but it's pretty rare to discover them in a location packed with people. Corruption charges against New York City Mayor Eric Adams could be dropped. A former U.S. Solicitor General advised a federal judge to do so today. He also suggested disallowing the Justice Department from refiling charges against him in the future. Paul Clement, a Solicitor General under former President George W. Bush, made the recommendation in court filings. Judge Dale Ho in Manhattan appointed him 2 weeks ago to present arguments on the governor's request. The Trump administration canceled $400 million in grants and contracts with Columbia University. In a statement, the White House says the school hasn't been doing enough to combat harassment of Jewish people on campus. Soon after the announcement came, Education Secretary Linda McMahon said she had a, quote, productive meeting with Columbia's interim president. Several universities, including Columbia, have had pro-Palestinian rallies on campus in the aftermath of Hamas's terror attack on Israel on October of 2023. New at 6, wildfire recovery one new home at a time. We'll show you how Concow is coming back from the campfire. A traffic alert if you're driving in Butte County. The Butte City Bridge will be closed overnight for construction work. Caltrans says the closure along Highway 162 begins Thursday. Crews will install joint assemblies across the new bridge deck and will close the road from 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. through the following Wednesday. A detour will be available from Ord Ferry Road to Aguas Frias Road. A massive auto parts retailer is closing all of its California stores. Advanced Auto Parts announced plans to close all those locations in the state by mid-March. That's very soon. More than 1,600 workers will lose their jobs as the auto parts retailer shuts 137 sites. Closures began in early February and will eventually encompass more than 725 locations across the country. The FBI arrested 3 U.S. Army soldiers over alleged schemes to send national defense information to China. Jian Zhao and Li Tian, both active duty, and former soldier Royu Duan are charged with stealing U.S. military secrets. The DOJ believes that they stole top secret hard drives, information on weapons systems, and documents on missile defenses to sell to people in China. Attorney General Pam Bondi said in part, quote, "They will face swift, severe, and comprehensive justice." The CDC says at least 164 cases of measles have been detected in the U.S. since January, 3 of them in California. Experts say even after an infected person gets better, the virus can cause damage to their immune system, raising the risk of other infections.
Measles infects immune cells, and when it does so, it damages immune cells and it wipes out partially your immune system's memory to certain infections. The best thing is not to get measles in the first place, and the best way to do that is to get vaccinated.
We know an unvaccinated child in Texas died, and an adult in New Mexico died as well, but did not seek medical care, and the official cause of death for that person is still under investigation.
So a little chilly, I'd say not just quite overnight, but definitely in the morning. So you might want to bundle up a little bit for your run or your jog, but it's going to be beautiful later on, and we'll talk more about it coming up in just a moment.
You're watching Action News Now. Storm Tracker weather coverage you can count on.
Here's a live look at Mount Shasta from Alert California's Girard Ridge camera, one of the many beautiful places our friend Howie is going to probably explore in the next week when we take a little time off work and just check out the amazing area that we live in.
I love to climb Mount Shasta. A lot of snow up there, though.
Or ski, yeah. Climb, ski, you can do it all there.
Can you ski in Mount Shasta?
Yeah, at Mount Shasta Ski Park. He needs a week off to
I gotta
explore.
get out of Chico more and drive more around the area. And I will try to do that this week because the weather is going to be awesome and amazing to do just about anything you want to do. And really quick, we'll go to another Alert California live shot. Look at that topography in the background. That's our Biggs camera in Butte County. That is looking off towards the northwest. Okay, so chilly overnight without that cloud cover. The heat escapes into the atmosphere. But again, for Saturday and Sunday, even part of Monday, will be sunny, and then more rain and snow for next week. Let's get into it. Winds. We really didn't get too gusty or too breezy and much more than what we had yesterday with the departure of the storms and the entrance of the high. They'll tug on one another usually, and we didn't get a huge disruption. Winds for the most part, 5 to 10 miles per hour, but yeah, staying on the lighter side. Here's what we got tomorrow. Coastal range, North Mountains, temperatures starting to come up. Look at that. Back into the 60s now. Are we going to make it there for the Sierra and the Cascades? Pretty close. Some spots pushing 60, 61 degrees. Let's drop down to the ridge and the foothills. So maybe a little chilly early on, but after that, looking really nice. Remember, winds on the lighter side and lots of sun. That should feel absolutely amazing. And then here's what we have for the North Valley and then the Mid Valley. So chilly overnight. We'll see some 30s, but it's okay because we're getting close to 70 potentially tomorrow as we warm up once again. And remember, the Mid Valley can apply the same way. It should be another fantastic day here in Northern California. Okay, let's see why it's all taking place, because there's our storms that brought all kinds of lightning, thunder, snow, rain, wind moving off. High pressure now. Here we are for Friday, so almost presently up to date, keeping everything clear, pushing down the atmosphere, and helping to warm us. The high will keep us protected right through Sunday and then into partially Monday before more storms out there from the west, northwest. Those begin to head our way, and when that happens, we're going to see temperatures drop, we're going to see the cloud development, and then eventually the rain and more snow again in Northern California. Now, I want you to enjoy the best you can the rest of Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and part of Monday, because after that, we might be stormy or not complete washout, but we could be on the stormy side really Tuesday, maybe even into Friday. But first things first, we're still looking at some nice days. If you want to get some yard work done, looking good tonight. We will start to get on that cool side overnight and into the morning. But Saturday looking fantastic with sunshine. Sunday as well. Now Monday, we'll have a nice at least portion of the day before things could start to break down. And then Tuesday, definitely, probably more likely, looking at some rain. And here it is on the rest of our graphics. Remember, and I cleared this up with Haley, but yeah, for Sunday, we spring forward. So at 2 o'clock in the morning, it'll go immediately to 3 a.m. So we lose an hour this weekend. But hey, beautiful weather, so it'll be worth it. But then again, after the weekend, we start to see a breakdown in the high pressure ridge. But look at Monday, still looking good. But then temperatures drop down and we return to rain and snow, which, hey, we'll take as much as we get before we start to dry off for many months, Haley.
All right, Howie, sounds great. Thank you. A big day at Simpson University. How you can celebrate success so far this baseball season. Sports is next.
The Action News Now Sports Desk, brought to you by your California Ford dealers. Visit buyfordnow.com.
UPrep boys basketball in Reading is headed to the state quarterfinals. The Panthers beat Gridley in overtime last night, 70-67, to advance in the Division III playoffs. Up next, number 1 seed UPrep will take on number 4 Fortune Early College basketball. The Simpson University Red Hawks baseball team is hosting a barbecue and post-game fireworks show in Reading tonight. The event kicks off in the conference home opener. The Red Hawks take on the Westcliff University Warriors in a doubleheader today and tomorrow. The team is halfway through its season, with today being its first conference game. Simpson's tailgate barbecue starts in about 5 minutes, 5 o'clock, and it's $5 per person. We spoke with the Red Hawks head coach today about what he's looking forward to for conference play.
The weather and the sun and just being out here, it's exciting for our guys to be out here and see all the work that they finally put in, coming to fruition. Getting into the competition and the swing of things and really seeing how you fare at the conference level.
The barbecue dinner is free to staff, faculty, alumni, and their families. And don't forget to stick around for the fireworks show following the second game. The sky will light up at about 7 o'clock.